the professor in charge of the bigger team, but the leader here is Giuliano. So, Lisa, if you have any question at any point, you have all the power to stop us and ask questions. And even after, we can, again, I share my email address on the chat. You can follow up with us. But let me tell you what we're here for right now. So we want to present a tool that is called HortCalculator. So this is a tool actually that started about 8 years ago, the idea of it. And it's an innovative online, primarily financial tool. The idea is that it's going to help how leafy green farmers approach investments. And we're focused right now on biological control. So if you would imagine having a TurboTax style platform that is specifically designed for agricultural decision making, you can input your data. Of course, data varies, but you can say, okay, what are you planning to grow? What is the area? What are the inputs that you have? And then you receive customized only for you financial analysis. And those analyses are meant to guide your investment choices and strategies for your operation. Because as you grow, your investments change. Or how do you decide to spend your money, your time? What crops you choose are going to change greatly. So our team is developing this user-friendly tool to help farmers evaluate what is the feasibility of implementing right now natural enemies. So if you're familiar with biological control, we have a team of entomologists at Purdue that are really investigating what are the natural enemies for pests in leafy green. The idea is you release natural enemies or predators. These can be insects, and then they eat, quote unquote, the pests that you otherwise use chemicals to control. So that reduces your chemical input. So we have a series of 10 to 12 webinars. We have lecture videos that are posted on our YouTube channel. We have these Q&A sessions like you're attending today. You're welcome to watch all the videos and come to all the Q&A sessions, and we're here to answer pretty much questions and go through that. But basically, this calculator needs data, right? Like, we know that farmers, and I was a farmer myself, some people here in the audience are farmers or were farmers. So when we know that farmers are really busy, and keeping an eye of what you did, how much you spent, it's really hard. So we're designing all these webinars to take you up to the point that you feel more confident to use that website, the calculator that I mentioned. But it's going to give you this calculator. What is your break even? What is your return on investment? What's the benefit cost? And what is the profitability? All tailored to your crop. So it's a great thing that we're going to have, obviously, for free, because we're part of a land grant university, and we're getting grants from different agencies that support us to, one, develop these, but also talk to farmers and do this. So this project has a team of researchers, and it's a very diverse team. And we also have a farmer advisory board that is going to make sure that we're doing things that are worth it. So this is our team. My name is Ariana Torres. I'm an associate professor at Purdue. I'm an agricultural economist. I have a master's in horticulture and a bachelor's in agricultural production. And then we have Dr. Juliano Marquez, who is here. He's pretty much the leader of this project, and he will be giving the first webinar. We have Alessandra. She's supporting us with the social media. Alvaro, he's supporting with the website development. Sorry, the YouTube development, the channel where we host everything, because this webinar is going to be recorded and it's going to be placed on a website that we need to share with all of us, because you can access this information later. Maybe right now you're thinking, well, I don't know if I want to do that right now, but maybe in the future you decide, you know what, I remember there was these videos or series of videos, and then you can go to that website or send me an email, or you can recommend to friends or other farmers that may be thinking about this. We have Fernanda Marquez. She's also helping us on the content. We're also going to have a guidebook that Fernanda is really excited to put together. We have Jean-Pierre Zavala. He is also a leader of this project where he did a lot of the work developing the tool. And then we have Mario also helping us a lot to develop the webinars and the videos and the content that needs to be presented to farmer. So as you can tell, it's a very diverse group. Everybody is very excited to bring this to life and to make it available. And as other webinars come in, we're thinking about every 3 to 4 weeks having a webinar. You can come to all of them. You can send the link, etc. The idea is to share this tool and to share information with anyone who may want it or need it. And with that, I'm gonna leave it for Juliana, right? This is your time, Juliana.
Well, thank you, Ariana. Thank you. Looks like you said everything already. It was a great introduction. Yeah, but thanks for the introduction. Thank you all for being participating in this webinar. It's a great pleasure to have all of you here and the opportunity to speak a bit about this Hort calculator, about this project. It's a very interesting project, and we are willing to help as many farmers as we can to adopt this Hort calculator for decision making and investments in biological control. I advocate and I argue for sustainability in the world that we live, and we have a great tool that can help us out on reaching this a more sustainable environment for everyone, and also to provide farmers with resilience, with a tool that they can analyze their finance. And as Ariana said, this is the first webinar of a 12 series webinar. We'll be launching these webinars on a monthly basis each. And we are going to start from the basis, explaining the importance of record keeping, which is one of the pillars of financial decision making. And we are moving through explaining how this calculator, how this financial tool works. And our wish and our biggest willing is to teach the farmers on how properly using this and teach them how to assess markets, let them to understand the feasibility of their financial ratios and analysis. So that's something that we are working on it. So before we move on to discuss the practice and importance of the record keeping, I would like to ask you, the audience, please to respond 2 questions because this is part of our reporting to the funding agencies. So I'm gonna pull up here a poll that if you guys could please answer in these 2 questions. Are you guys seeing the question now?
You should get a pop-up window with a little poll where you
Yeah,
have 2 questions and you can select your answer that best fits the each answer.
perfect. Well, and in this pool and the other one I'm going to present, this no one will figure out who is responding, so feel free to answer the best way that you want. You're not going to be recognized in any specific way the response you are providing us. Well, I think we can move on if everyone, let me give you 10 more seconds. So thanks for all for responding that. And well, let's start talking a bit about the importance of record keeping. And we know that for many farmers, agriculture is not like just a professional. It is a way of life. We've been visiting so many farmers here in Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, and we see how important is farming for each one of them. But farming sometimes can be also business, and like all successful enterprise, your farm needs to have good and accurate record keeping so you can achieve long-term profitability and understanding of your financial. And record keeping is essential to overall operation on your farm, as it can help you track of much money you are spending and making on the farm, and whether you have been paid or still have payments to make. It can also help you to prepare your income tax when it's time to file, and even if your farm is a non-profit organization operating for charitable or education or scientific purpose, it is important for preparing financial information package for assessing U.S. government financial benefits and grants, such as applying for loans or programs like the non-insured crop assistance payment, it calls NAP, with the Farm Service Agents of the USDA. And also, with your record keeping data, you have informed decision making that can provide concrete data to support strategic decisions regarding farming operations. And here is the focus of our webinar to let you know and discuss best practice of record keeping. So then you can inform the Hort calculator with the farm data, and the calculator financial tool will provide you with these financial ratios that you can use to analyze future investments. That's our biggest wish today, to teach you how to better record keeping, to inform the Hort calculator with the inputs needed to calculate and analyze the financial ratios. So, when and what to register? This is an important question because it is important to tell that due to the variety of farmers' business goal, record keeping are likely to differ from farmer to farmer. And for example, a farmer who is tracking sales to determine the best market for his or her vegetable will have different records than the farmer who is tracking sales to determine which vegetables are more popular among his or her consumers. And therefore, we will explore here in this webinar the record keeping you will need to do for informing the Hort calculator with inputs information and let the Hort calculation financial tool do its job. And the rule of thumb in here is that you need to record as much data as you can on the entire production cycle of leaf green production. And it goes from the pre-planting phase, registering data from before you seed and transplant your crop, up to the post-harvest phase. Also include the equipment and machinery adopted for each type of crop production and overhead expenses. I want to highlight in here the machinery and equipment that are often neglected by many farmers must have its cost recorded in order to determine whether the farm activity are profitable or not. We are going to explain a little bit of these cycles during the webinar, and also the machinery, equipment, and overhead expenses. So first of all, farmers need to establish a simple recording routine where the key here in this phase is consistency and discipline. It's a good practice to choose a specific time of the day to make your notes. It's also good to create standardized workflows for a straightforward daily checklist. For periodic data analysis, it's not enough to just collect the information. You farmers need to use and analyze this information. And to do that, it's important that you set a time of each week to review the records where you can look for patterns, trends, and anomalies in your production, that you can provide real-time adjustments, making you saving money and with a better analysis, for example. You should also consider using large calendars on a wall close to the tunnels where you can highlight important dates, such as harvest dates, pesticides application, pest inspections, Also, you can use labels or small signs attached to the ground to indicate the type of crop, planting date, expected harvest date, and also the fertilizer that you are applying in your production. Another tip is to use a smartphone as visual documentation, where these images combined with your written notes can create a comprehensive record that can be very useful for future diagnosis or comparing effectiveness of different management practice over time. So now let's talk a bit about some practical examples on how to easy record keeping and to illustrate how to improve the quality of records. Regardless here of the chosen tool, let's take a look on this table and follow this example. The first step here is to maintain a standardized and clear records for both data entry and analysis. A best practice is to use a glossary. It's basically what we are seeing here in this table. It's a reference database with recurring terms. And this you can see we are using, we are listing the crop that we most plant on our farm, the unit of measure, the production cycle we are in. And these types of information help farmers to ensure consistency and avoid duplication. It's a good practice to use codes as a common activity. So it is important to create this code to maintain and create it as simpler as it can be for an intuitive coding system with short and easy to remember codes. Also, it's good and it's needed to keep these codes in a visible and easily to record location. So, moreover, within this table, I would like to say that the quality of records can also be ensured through proper formatting and prior knowledge of how the data should be collected. In this table, for example, if you are using a spreadsheet, you need to make sure that the structure is clear. You need to define the headers. As you can see here, we define the crop that we are planting, the year, season, the planting date, and it's also important to configure each of these cells to receive a number, date, or a text date, or a date that it needs to be recorded, like the planting date. So ensuring that this data is recording using the same unit of measurement is also very important, which will help to prevent errors in your records. For example, mistyped unit of measurement can lead to mistaking in your entries. And as you can see there, you can also use color or style to differ data entry areas from calculation areas. In this case, conversion area can facilitate comparison and analysis, which will help to eliminate manual calculation errors. And finally, it is important to always include units when recording quantities, as this can ensure accuracy and prevent confusion, leading to cost mistakes and incorrect decisions. So another point you should be aware is to use the absence of information or incorrect data, uh, as this is one of the main obstacles to have an effective data analysis and compromise the entire analysis, also leading to mistake decisions. The accuracy and completeness of records are essential for gaining these valuable insights and making informed decisions. Another point also important to consider is the inclusion of comments or notes about unusual conditions or previous decision made, as this can help in interpreting the data in the future. I would like at this point to let you guys ask any question that you need. Please interrupt me anytime. We can explore that, and feel free to interrupt me, please.
I think it's also important to say that we're recording this video and it's going to be available on the Purdue Horticulture Business website that we can share soon. And you can share these with anyone who may benefit or be interested about it. But if you have any question of, let's say, what type of activities you want to record or what are the things that you should focus more, we're happy to answer those.
Yes, yes. Don't need to even raise your hand. Just interrupt and bring it in. Bring it in. We try to respond. Um, so following up here, we are going to discuss now which are let's say, the most important data that we need to as an input for the Hort calculator, which is, in summary, for an economic feasibility analysis, understand the net return in unit per leaf green, pound or bag, or the minimum price per yield that you need to sell your crop. It's essential for clarity, or rather to have primary data records. So this is why we say that record keeping is one of the pillars of the business and also of the farm. And to achieve this record keeping and to achieve the data that we need as an input to the Hort calculator, we need to register and understand what are our cultivated area of the farm, including all of the crops. We need to understand and list the total cultivated area for the high tunnels, including all of your crops, and also specifically regarding one specific crop, let's say spinach. You have to record what is the total planted area with this crop, with spinach, the first planting date of each crop, the last harvest date of each crop, and the total yield obtained from the total area planted of spinach in this case. These are the main information that we need to inform the Hort calculator. So for the costs, we need to have clarity on how much you are expending to produce in order to know the minimal selling price to cover the cost, which we call the break-even point, or even quantity, yields, and profits. And you have to list it on your cost part of the calculator, your variable costs, for example, the seeds, the manure that you use, if you use paper plots, and also other variable costs that depends on how much you are producing and the type of crops you are producing. You have to list your supplies miscellaneous, like the nutrients that you are using, the quantity of fertilizers, the agrotoxins that you are using, the cost for those. And also labor cost is very important, and we need to be listed in the Hort calculator spreadsheet. So for the machinery and equipment, I want to highlight the need to record the costs related to these categories that can be registered either for a cycle or in a yearly basis to understand the annual maintenance cost. And so, for example, in this case that we are seeing, if you, for example, spend $15,000 in the high tunnel and has a useful life of 10 years, according to the IRS, you need to record an annual cost of $1,500, which is the total cost of the high tunnel divided by the number of years it is expected to be in use. And the same is for the other equipment and machinery. For example, fertilizer sprayers that can be used in one cycle of production, and it needs to be counted as for this cycle. For the overhead expense, it's very important to register as well, which stands for the registering of expenses that are vital for the efficient operation of your farm, which includes the costs that are not directly linked to your activity. And here in this part of the Hort calculator, you need to list your payroll taxes, for example, benefits that you provide to your employees, the payroll of your tax. These are type of the data that it needs to be listed in this category. So for the sales, it is important to know not only the value and quantity that are sold, but also who you should sell your production to. So through registering the sales, you can compare the yield of a desired production with the marketable yield and the quantity that is effectively commercialized. With your sales data, it is possible to identify losses that incur during the process, or by recording this data, you can better define the target sales audience based on what is most profitable to you. So these are the importance of recording your sales into the HortCalculator as well. And finally, here we would like with the HortCalculator to increase your record keeping with a TurboTax like Q&A format tool that will provide you with profitability comparison to increase informed decision towards leaf green investments by comparing financial analysis from different technology choice, which can help you ensure proper financial management, entrepreneurial projects from judging the future risk reduction benefits of a technology compared to its benefits. So we would like to increase leaf green's marketable yield to meet consumers' demand of sustainably produced food, increased marketable access for leaf green through the series of profitable pricing strategies based on breaking even analysis from selling through different market channels such as restaurants or farmers markets. I really believe that the HortCalculator has the potential to help you farmers withstand economically shocks by providing you with the resource and insights that you need to better manage your finances and informed decisions. And lastly, you'll be more prepared to respond to environmental issues. For example, by investing in biological control, you can lower environmental footprint of leaf green productions. And this is what we expect that the HortCalculator can provide you. And I really think that adopting this tool, you will be more equipped with a financial tool that can help you with financial analysis on investing in many different types of technologies. So I think, yeah, this is what I brought for today. Thank you so much, and please bring us some questions. We are all happy to answer those.
Thank you so much, Juliano. I think it is important for those who join later to put the slide with the other webinars that you have. So the HortCalculator is a website that is going to be free, and it uses like TurboTax system where a series of questions will gather the data. So you don't have to have all the data, you don't have to enter, but you have to have an idea of how much you spent, how many resources you used, what's the yield, etc. And the idea is to have this whole calculator to get there. But to get there, we need to have some sort of record keeping. We need to understand what's an enterprise budget, understand what are the financial ratios that are important for a farmer. We have so many ratios out there that people in finance have put together, but really not all of them are applicable. So we're diving into the financial ratios that are going to impact your decision making. We do an economic analysis. So as you can tell, every month we're going to have a webinar and they're going to be recorded and hosted. So I put the link of the website where they're going to be placed, and the HortCalculator is going to be there. If you're interested to use the HortCalculator, we're now having developed the version with the beta version with the developer, and we're more than happy to help you use that tool and help you understand how can you actually make decisions. So let's say you want to buy another high tunnel, or let's say you want to buy chrysoperla or lady beetles to eat your aphids, or you want to use another fertilizer, or you want to replace all your chemical fertilizer to manure or any other. And what you would want is, well, is this going to make sense? So this is a big question. There's so many technologies out there for farmers. I think bottom line, we need to understand, is it going to be making more money for me? What are the implications of doing this versus doing that? And if you're already thinking, well, I want to understand these, please reach out to us. We are developing that tool and we want to work with all the farmers and try to help them decide what's going to make sense financially for them. As you can tell, there is a series of webinars and we're very excited. Today was the first one. Share the link with anyone. We have social media, HortBiz Purdue. I'm going to put it on the chat. And feel free to reach out. We are on Facebook and on Instagram. And then we have a website that I just posted earlier. And yes, we're really excited to work on this. This is the first tool in the country. And I would say probably in the world that has something like this built in. Usually when you see an enterprise budget, we're gonna cover enterprise budgets in January, actually in December. But when you see an enterprise budget, you're maybe thinking, well, this enterprise budget doesn't apply to me because I may not have drip irrigation. Or this enterprise budget doesn't apply because my whole high tunnel is smaller, or I'm bigger, or I have 20 crops in my high tunnel. So what we're doing is building something that it's tailored to you. And we're more than happy to walk you through what do you need to understand and how are you going to use this tool. So you can also share it with friends and farmers, and you can use it for even for lenders, right? Like if you're planning to make an investment and get a loan, you can show a lender, hey, this is actually going to increase my profits. My break even is going to be healthier. My there's a positive benefit cost ratio, or the return investment is positive. So all these ideas are here and we're going to walk through up until July 2025. And please share this information. And if you have any question, we're more than happy to answer right now or at any time, at any day.
Hello.
Lisa, did you have a question?
I think Lisa is mute.
Yes.
Yeah, I think she's muted.
Oh, no, there we
Oh,
go.
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. I had a question on one of the inputs in one of the first slides. It
Yeah.
was family labor.
Oof. That's a very
And
good question.
yes,
Can
and
you
I
put the
wanted to know if
slide?
it was how it was weighed against paid labor. Is
Yeah.
it a equivalent, or is it uh, a weighed ratio, or
Mhm.
what are the options for that?
Yeah, so the way I talk about family labor or even your labor, sometimes, and I was a farmer, I used to do that. I didn't think that my time should have a cost. So you can have, and you, a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of people who start a farm business, they start the first year and they don't consider income or their labor or their salary as part of their expenses. And that is okay. But let's say you're going to get bigger, or let's say you get sick and you need people to help you. Hopefully that never happens. But let's say you have a trip and you have some activities that you have to do, or you really don't want to harvest today because you're going to sell to a restaurant and you just hire someone. So accounting for labor that you usually don't pay is going to give you the true production cost. It's going to give you the true cost. And if we put it into the tool, it's going to tell you what is the minimum price you should sell your products, considering that labor or not considering that labor. We can test that idea of, okay, I'm just not going to have any labor, family labor, or my labor included into my expenses. But let me check if I have to hire someone to do these activities that I don't want to do right now. And we can check that impact on your profitability, on your break even, and your benefit cost and your return on investment of your farm. So my take is a lot of farmers decide not to charge a labor cost for their time, but I think it's wise to understand, what if I would charge it? What if I am going to have to hire someone to do these things? So let's say you're doing the accounting, or you're doing the social media, or you're doing the sales or transportation. What would it take to hire someone? And we can test that on the tool. But I think it's also important for farmers to just have an idea, what would this cost be if I'm going to hire someone? Because that's actually the true cost of production. And I think over time, as you get bigger or as you're thinking of doing some activities or not doing some activities, I think it's important to have an idea of what is the true cost of farming. One thing you can do that is just calculate the number of hours. And with regards, what would you pay for someone? The price or the wage would be, what would you pay someone an hourly wage or usually an hourly wage if they had to do those things? So let's say you have to harvest and you don't want to harvest today, or you can't harvest because you have a family obligation. So you're going to hire someone. What would it cost you to, and how many hours it's going to take? So you can start understanding this is actually the true cost. Of course, there's a lot of things, even sometimes when we're traveling on a vacation, we're thinking about work. It happens to me. Sometimes I'm on vacation and I'm thinking about work. I'm working. So it really get that number of hours to the exact point. It's really hard because you're not really paying yourself if you're not doing that. But it's a good idea to say, hey, it usually takes 3 hours to harvest a hot tunnel. What would it be if I would hire someone? And that's going to tell you the true cost. And this is a great example of how we can use a tool to understand true labor costs. And we know that labor costs are the highest, tend to be the biggest expense that farmers may have. Right now, with fertilizers and chemical inputs increasing the increasing in prices, I think it's getting very complicated. And I think a tool like these can really be beneficial because as things get more expensive, we need to be smarter on how do we make decisions. And we need to be smarter on how are we spending your money and how are we making our money. And these are things that we're excited to help the leafy green community and the high tunnel community. Did that answer your question, Lisa?
Yes, thank you. That added a lot of clarity to how I could benefit from this application.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. We also have Steve, we have Carlos, we have, I don't want to call anybody out, we have Nicole. We had a couple of others who left, but if you guys have any question, we're more than happy to answer them now or later. And you have all our information there. Thank you for attending today. Today was our first webinar, and we're excited to see more people on the future webinars, and we're excited to show what we're doing.
Yeah,
Thank
before
you, Steve, for that comment. Steve said, thank you for breaking this down in small chunks that are easy to swallow. Thank you. We appreciate it. If you want to cover any topic, please reach out. We're happy to, as we are preparing the webinars, we're also happy to add specific examples that you guys would want to see. So we're here to serve you.
Yes, like Ariana said, we've been visiting many farmers around here, and the reality differs so much in between them. And regarding Lisa's question, for example, we visit farmers that are charitable farmers, where they develop a great work with refugees, for example, from Nepal. And they don't pay their farmers, but the advice that we gave them is, how many hours are they spending there? What is the cost of this hour? So as much as you keep track of that, later on you will have the cost of producing this specific type of crop per cycle, which will facilitate your records later on. So in complementing the 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 benefit of this calculator is that we are collecting data from many different types of farmers and many different regions as well. So if you want to collaborate and also to inform us some data that you have, we are more than welcome to discuss. And also the tables that you saw as a template, if you want to message me, I can forward you that so it can be easier for you to start your records and input the data within the HortCalculator. So yeah, I'm very thankful for having you guys here, and count on us to help.
Yeah, thank you everyone for attending and thank you for all the questions. And please go check the videos. We're going to be posting videos. We have lectures. We're going to be developing a guidebook. We're going to be presenting at the Mid-Atlantic Growers Conference, and we're going to be at the Indiana Horticulture Congress. And if there's some event that you want us to talk about it, more than happy. So thank you everyone, and have a wonderful night.
Just 1 second before we end, let me ask you guys two questions to answer two more questions on a poll that we need to report to our agencies. Let me see, where is it?
So we are having these questions because we need to report if people actually learn and how can we do a better job of showing information and delivering information. So sorry to bother you. If you can answer you're gonna see a pop-up window. If you can answer those two questions, we would really appreciate it. And then so we can report to the agency, NIFA and the North Central region, which is actually in Omaha, Nebraska.
Hi guys, in the meantime, where again like can I find like all the videos, all the recordings of the sessions?
Yeah, it's on I'm gonna share again the website. It's on the program
Okay,
website.
great.
And the
Okay,
tool
great.
is going to be hosted there. The web developer is developing right now. We're gonna post it there. It's gonna be free to anyone. Eventually, we're going to translate it to other languages so other farmers can also use it. But all the videos, guidebooks, webinars, recordings, etc., are going to be on that website. So you will see HortCalculator. Just go there, and then if you have any question, please email us. We would love to make this information more available to anyone. Thank you, Carlos. Great to see you.
Great to see you too. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Carlos.
everyone. Did you get the answers, Juliano?
Yes, thank you so much for answering that, guys. It was great. Yeah, let me end up the poll, and please be aware of the next webinars. We are going to be sharing that with you. And I see that these guys here are doing a great job and with a lot of new knowledge, even for me that are guiding them. And it's great to have all of you here. Thank you so much for that. Rihanna, just please.
Thank you, and have a wonderful night. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Hi, good night.
Thank you. Come see me sometime.
Bye-bye, Lisa. Thank you so
Road
much for
trip.
participating. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Same here. Come visit me sometime.
Sure, let's talk. Message me if you have any question, okay?